Hello everybody and welcome to the NBL1 show. Tips off this weekend, Friday night, with a huge amount of games. We can't wait for it. The rebranding, the new league and the excitement right across the country, where we'll see some of the most talented players play in your backyard Friday, Saturday and Sunday nights. 18 of the best men and women's teams in the country. And my name's Cameron Luke and plenty to get into. We're going to have all these games live streamed. We're going to have the NBL YouTube channel broadcast game of the round as well. Plenty to look into, and I'll start with you, Kerry Williams. How you doing, Homicide?
I'm doing very well. Let's get into it. Oh, sorry. Let's just... I forgot. We gotta...
Liam Santa Maria.
Liam Santa Maria. What's going on, man? My bad. I'm sorry.
No, I'm excited. I'm excited about this new league. I'm excited. We've been looking through the teams getting ready for the season and pumped about how many NBL, former WNBL, future NBL, future WNBL players going to be running around in these games. It's going to be an awesome league.
Right under our noses. And of course, over the course of the weekend, Friday night, Saturday night and Sunday, and Friday night it all starts. Dandenong and the basketball centre of excellence, of course, basketball, which has got kids galore with so much talent. Who knows where these kids, we're talking NBA, WNBA, WNBL, NBL. We're going to go a long way there. And Geelong and Nunawading, which will be our broadcast game of the weekend on Friday night. The Hobart Huskies, a bit of a change down in Tasmania as well when it comes to the Huskies and the Southern Sabres. And this is a pretty good trio. Hat-trick of games to kickstart your new league.
Sure is. Which ones? Rangers and COE. I mean, the COE, I'm so excited to see Tamari Wigness involved in this league this season. Also, Kyle Bowen from the Perth Wildcats championship team, who really impressed at times for them. And as always, we've got just superstar young talent that is going to do really well. And Wigness in particular, I've been waiting the last couple of years to see him compete at this kind of level. And that's going to be fun to watch. I'm
looking forward to Sam McDaniel playing for the Southern Sabres, and of course a development player in Melbourne United, been upgraded to a full contract, son of a legend when it comes to NBL as well. And it's the big step. He played some games for Mount Gambier last year and played pretty well before getting the opportunity to train and be a part of that Melbourne United team in a couple of minutes here and there. And this is the next step, isn't it? You go to your off-season, you go to your winter, and that's where you become. And Craig Moller had a similar step 12 months ago where he played on a championship team, went back and dominated the then Siebel. And now Sam McDaniel has to do a similar thing, not only for himself, but also for Melbourne United, who have given him the option, the luxury to be a full-time roster player next year.
And that's what you have to do. Similar to NBA, you know, there's second-round draft picks, guys that are development players. And it takes longer for them to get playing time on the big stage, so they have to pretty much dominate that off-season, which is Summer League and the NBA, but here is NBL1. This is their opportunity to show that they belong in the NBL.
What do you think Dave Barlow's going to do in this league this season?
He's going to destroy this league. He's absolutely going to rip this league to shreds. Plus, he'll be pissed off because of how the season ended. So he's going to take it out on somebody. And the NBL1 he's going to unleash and wreak havoc in that league.
We'll go to the women's side of it as well. Jasmine Shelley, in my opinion, and because there'll be plenty of different opinions about this, but I think she's the best shooter in the league leading into the season. And that Geelong-Nunawading rivalry, both the men's and women's, has always been strong to association, starting at the juniors and working their way up through the VJBL. I think she's the best shooter in the league leading into the year, and she's a huge part. I think the Geelong women are going to have a really good year.
Geelong look like they're going to be really, really good.
Yes.
Right? That program down there is, always puts together really good teams. But with Blickavs, who understands a little injured at the moment, perhaps might not be right to go right from the get-go. But with Ezzy Magbagor and, like you say, Jazz Shelley, they are loaded and they're going to be right in amongst it. I'm excited about Dandenong's team this season. I'm rolling with whatever team Bet Cole is in the 3x3, in the NBL1. She is a star. Love watching her play and how hard she plays, the passion that she plays with. And they've got Amy Clydesdale as well. Really good team they've put together. I
think if you look at it in particular when it comes to the women's side of it, those associations, those clubs that have the connection with the WNBL and have clubs in both, Dandenong being one of them, and Bendigo's another one. They're rolling through players left, right and centre. They're players who have not only been emerging WNBL players, but also with the Spirit players who have been there for a long period of time. So you'd think that Bendigo and Dandenong again, along with Geelong, who we touched on, are going to be there towards the end. I do want to mention Kayla George, because it's great for the league. The Hobart Huskies, of course, the signing of it and where Tasmania basketball sits. And the excitement around it. She'll play the first couple of games. Hopefully she gets a few more out. Of course, she has Opal's commitment. She has WNBA, which is, yet again, we talk about legitimising the NBL when players go overseas and WNBL and do well. They'll discontinue to do it in this situation. So hopefully they can find a way around their packed winter schedule to be able to play some more games. But she'll be there early on, and anytime she plays, Hobart are going to have a huge opportunity to win games, and obviously she'll be replaced by an import next couple of weeks. But looking forward to Kayla George and see what she can do at this level.
The other one, the big news, right? The breaking news the last couple of days is Lauren Jackson. I mean, the GOAT. The opportunity, perhaps at some stage, head coach of Albury Wodonga. If she's on the playing roster, her name has been submitted, and she has said, "Look, I would love to get back out there at some stage." How good would it be to see LJ back out on the floor?
I mean, for me, you know, that's the best athlete, basketballer in the history of Australia, in my opinion. You know, she's won everywhere. She's dominated everywhere. How many championships does this woman have? Countless. So it would just be amazing to see her just suit up, period, for any team in this league.
See, MVP, the WNBA as well. Like, I know that, and the big issue around her, or the concern is obviously she had some injuries. That knee's obviously been a concern for a long period of time. As long as she can get up and down the court without too much pain,
she's still good.
If she's moving at 30%,
she's still better than Lee.
Play yourself, Lauren, and just throw her the ball, because even obviously one of the most intelligent basketballers we've ever seen, men or women, not only in Australia but in the world, just toss her the pill and allow her to do it. And you know what? She's the coach. She can call her own plays for herself. It should be fun to watch. So hopefully, she's spoken about it. Hopefully she can get out there.
I'm not sure if you mentioned him before, but just quickly, Kilsyth and Knox in the women's. Just going through the rosters and looking through how the season's going to play out, I think they're going to be pretty tough as well.
I actually bumped in, talking Kilsyth, I bumped into Justin Schuler, who's the coach of the NBL1 men's team and assistant coach of Melbourne United. And a couple of days after the grand final, he was still pretty cut up about, obviously, the loss to Perth, but he's still pretty cut up about the fact they blew a 20-point lead last year in a prelim against Nunawading. So he doesn't sleep well at night at the moment, Schuler. So he's put together a really stacked roster, led by Peter Hawley and Isaac Turner at the guard position, and we're looking forward to seeing what they can do.
Oh, that team is stacked. That's for sure. I don't think they're not going to lose too many games this year. Not that team. Barring injury, they're stacked.
Somebody dropped me a DM last week.
Uh-oh.
He had a meme, or she had a meme as a profile pic, and said there was some suggestion at some time you would maybe be interested in getting in a little bit of shape, doing some training with an NBL1 team, and possibly playing some games. Any truth?
Don't believe that.
At all?
At all.
At all?
At all.
None?
I will be at Paran with the chain nets getting busy out there.
You know what's going to happen next year in the NBL? Chain nets. And also to the NBL1, get some chain nets. We'll have a barbecue in the middle of winter, and what a wonderful competition.
So is that your pick? Kilsyth? Do you think
Kilsyth is winning it.
Really?
Yep. They're too stacked.
They are stacked. They are stacked with young, exciting NBL-level talent, but Nunawading, year in, year out. They're another year older, right? But Tom Wright, Simon Conn, Shane McDonald, Dane Swatala, that's a team that's going to take some beating. Yeah,
I agree to an extent. 3x3 is becoming the big thing. We got to, of course, the Olympics, and you got to get ranking points and all the rest of it. And where do the best 3x3 players come from when it comes to Australia? What team do they play for?
They're at the graveyard.
Exactly, and that's going to be... And not only, we spoke about Beck Cole, she's a huge part of the 3x3 here in Australia, one of the best players. So that's going to be, for the first time, a balancing act. And that's the only reason I'm just unsure about Nunawading right now.
What about Knox? They've put together a pretty nice squad. Darrell McDonald, Damon Hire, excellent signing. I think he should have been in the NBL at somewhere last year. James Hunter, Adam Thosby, Mike Rose, under D-Mac.
See, I think if Lauren Jackson plays again, D-Mac should just lace him up for at least one game.
D-Mac could still play now. He can give you at least 10 minutes.
I would like to see him lace him up and then demote his son to the backup point guard position.
That's a good team.
It is. It is strong, and this is what the best thing about NBL1 is. The rebranding of it, the rechanging, the restructuring means that all clubs, both men and women, know how deep they have to be to challenge to win the championship in the first year. Look, I spoke with Jeremy LaLiga a little while ago, the NBL CEO, about this competition and expansion. And the very fact is that the idea as time goes on that the NBL1 not takes over, but is incorporated across all the conferences and leagues right across Australia. And I got thinking how cool it would be. We're in March Madness right now. We're all caught up in collegiate basketball and how fun that is. if we can, and the old ABA have tried to do this and have done this at some point, but imagine we got to September and 5 years' time, there was the NBL1 final series where there's 16 teams or there's 32 teams and they play elimination one-off around the country and leads us to an NBL1 Final Four, which could coincide with an NBL pre-season tournament. I think it'd be great for the developing players in this country and the excitement that sort of knockout tournament generates.
Yeah. I love it. You know, you end up with a bracket type situation like that and you come down to a national championship game. Absolutely. And it's not too hard to envisage, right? NBL1 South, NBL1 North, NBL1 West, so on and so forth, and then bring it all together. I mean, if that's how it progresses, and that's obviously their plan, and if it can be worked out over the coming years, and certainly here in Victoria with NBL1 is the sort of foundation piece to get it up and going. It's a bright future for the league.
In particular with the rivalries in the States. I imagine Kilsyth finished 3rd or 4th and had to jump on a plane and play against Rockingham in Western Australia. And
Rockhampton.
It's Rockhampton's Queensland. Rockingham in Western Australia.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
You might be right.
Apologies to the Western Australians, to the Red Army, of course, the official leader of the Red Army right here. But I think it's Rockingham.
Okay.
Either way, you get my point. We'll use Rockhampton as an example just in case I'm wrong. Jump on a plane and Western Australia v Victoria or v Queensland, and just the passion that we have, I think would be outstanding. So I think the NBL's vision of making NBL1 a whole country would be great. All right.
Would you Cobras take that, win the whole thing?
That's you, Homicide. Your Cobras?
Is the what?
The Kilsyth Cobras.
The Cobras. I didn't know they're...
You care a little for nicknames.
They're the Snakes.
Okay, they're the Snakes.
They're the Snakes.
That's my pick.
Yeah.
I believe they're just too stacked. I believe that they're going to win.
Your pick as well?
Nunawading.
What did Nunawading do last year?
What did they do last year?
They made
lost
a grand final.
They lost the final. They're right there about every year. They'll be a little torn up about losing that, and they've just got that championship experience.
Who do they remind you of?
The Wildcats. The San Antonio Spurs of the NBL1.
Always
there you go.
Huh?
You can get involved on socials at NBL1 on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and on the NBL YouTube channel, because the games are being broadcast, live stream and broadcast game of the week. But this week will be the games Geelong and Nunawading to kickstart NBL1. We're excited. Get involved. This has been the NBL1 show.